Oh, it's already time for New Comic Book Day again. So let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video where I tell you of the books coming out this week, which ones are on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and which books are on the maybe list, the books I'll be making a game day decision on. Now, this week, well, a pretty healthy new comic book week, I gotta say. A lot of books coming out from the big two that I'm excited about. Not a ton of indies, but we always like to start these lists off with the book that I am most excited for, and this week that is Batman and Robin issue number 2. Batman and Robin, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Simone DeMeo. Issue 1 was really, really good. The art by Simone DeMeo is really captivating, if not a little muddy isn't the right word. There were just some parts of it that were difficult for my brain to interpret what action was happening. It took a second. It was like the foreground was blending into the background. I don't know. This is way too heavy of a critique for an issue that I loved a whole lot. Damian has moved back in with Bruce at the Brownstone, and due to the events of the Gotham War, he seems to be the only member of the Bat family that's really rocking with Bruce like that. Now, I don't know how closely Joshua Williamson's planning to tie this into the Gotham War. It doesn't have Gotham War as part of its branding, so I don't expect it's going to be super heavily influenced by what we just saw in Batman 138. But here in Batman and Robin, we've got our own set of new rules going on. We've got this whole dynamic. Bruce is trying to be a father, like a real father. We're seeing that father-son relationship play out not just, during the crime fighting hours, if you will. And so that's one aspect of it that's pretty interesting. But then when we are crime fighting, there's a brand new villain. And if you see the cover of this book, that villain might look familiar to you. There's a reason for that. And that's all I'll say. I'm excited to see where this goes, even though I'm still kind of salty that we gotta have a whole different title just to get Bruce and Damian interacting with each other. But Damian's my favorite Robinson, and Joshua Williamson's a very good writer, so I'm excited about it. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And since we're talking about DC Comics, the next book on the pull list is Green Lantern issue number 4. Green Lantern, written by Jeremy Adams, art by Zermanico. And is it Hermonico? Zermanico? I don't know. But it's been a decent series so far. I've enjoyed it. Of course, we had the 2-month break for Night Terrors. But in issue 3, we finally saw the return of Sinestro. Not Sinister. Sinestro. And, he did a thing. He made his presence known in a pretty big way. So I'm excited to see exactly what comes of that in issue number 4. And overall, I'm not hating this Hal Jordan story at all. So there's that. Green Lantern issue number 4 has got a cover price of, before that, I should let you know, there's a backup story in this issue. The backup story is written by Peter Tomasi, and it features a bunch of debuts of new characters, and it's leading to a new series called Sinister Sons. I don't know who the Sinister Sons are. Obviously, we know Peter Tomasi from many things, including Super Sons, but I don't know whose son would be the Sinister Son. But it is popping up in a Green Lantern book, so if you want a teaser or a primer for that Sinister Sons book coming out later this year, then grab this, Green Lantern issue number 4. Cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the pull list is Superman Lost, issue number 7, written by Christopher Priest with art by Carlos Pugalian. Carlos Pugalian. There's a way to say that word, but I don't know it. Anyway, it's been a really interesting series. It's basically what if Superman got sucked through a black hole and stayed lost in space for 25 years? What would that PTSD look like? What would you have to do to sort of shake him awake and make him more present in this world? And Lois has been dealing with that. I mean, he's gone through everything from pseudo love affairs and all sorts of stuff in space. And when he's comes back to Earth, he's just not quite present. In this issue, Lois is going to go to one of the unlikeliest of sources, or likeliest if it's a Superman story. Lex Luthor. And we're going to see if Lex Luthor can slap some sense into Clark. We'll see how it goes. Superman Lost number 7. I'm really enjoying this series. It's definitely going to read better in trade, but it's been good. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. That's it for the DC Comics on the pull list. So if I stick to the list, those will just cost me $15. And yeah, man, $5 books. I guess that's just where we are. Now let's move over to the House of Ideas at Marvel Comics, where the first book on the pull list is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 35. This issue written by Zeb Wells with art by Patrick Gleason. Now I have very much been enjoying this most recent story arc where Peter's breaking bad. Peter is evil for some reason. Peter's unhinged for some reason that you can find out if you go back and read. Where did this start? Issue 29 or so? I really don't remember. 30, 31. Hasn't been that long. It's been like a month. But anyway, Peter's breaking bad. He's off the chains. He's ruthless. And things are coming to a head because this is going to... I don't want to spoil how he got that way. Something's going to happen. There's a confrontation coming in this issue, and I don't know. They're saying that this issue is going to set up the next 24 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, which, since they're double shipping, that means the next 12 months of storytelling. And I've been famously up and down on The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm loving this arc, and I especially love Patrick Gleason's art. If you're not reading this book, grab this issue, because this issue's got Patrick Gleason art and Spidey's new costume and all his capabilities right now just look amazing on the page, whether or not you're into the story. But right after this issue, we've got a sort of short filler arc by Ed McGuinness, and then we're getting into the gang war storyline. And I don't know if the gang war is going to be worth buying Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know. Speaking of, I was doing some research for the gang war. Did you know that the gang war originally was a little story arc in Amazing Spider-Man scripted by one Jim Owsley, a.k.a. Christopher Priest from Superman Lost? Now you know. Anyway, all that to say, I'm kind of on the fence about The Amazing Spider-Man, and I feel like this issue 35 could be a great jumping off point unless they just really, really wow me. So we'll see. Amazing Spider-Man issue 35's got a cover price of $4.99. There's a couple of covers that I'm on the lookout for because I don't like that cover A, but I do like the Disney 100 variant. It's the ASM 300 homage with the Disney hollow foil. Like, it's a gimmicky cover if I've ever seen a gimmicky cover, but I'm not immune to gimmicks. So there's that. And then my LCS actually has an exclusive variant for this book, and it's done by David Finch, and it's not this traditional David Finch style. He penciled it, of course, but he painted it, and it's a really, really dope cover with Spidey being taken over by Venom, which is honestly kind of fitting for the contents of this issue and the story arc overall. So I really like that cover, and it's a really good cover. And they've got a trade dress variant. They got a Virgin variant. They've even got a black and white line art variant. And I'm going to stop short of linking to it in the description down below, just because check didn't clear. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 35 has got a cover price of $4.99. I'm probably grabbing that exclusive variant, though. Next up on the Marvel Comics pull list is The Avengers issue number 6. The Avengers written by Jed MacKay. Art, I believe this one's got art by Ivan Fiorelli, who we also saw on Fantastic Four a couple weeks ago, last week. I caught up on The Avengers, and I'm still iffy about this book. The book isn't really giving us a whole lot of team interaction. The book has kind of been divide and conquer, and some parts of the team are in one place and some are in another. And so it's not giving me the team vibes I've been looking for in a team book. But the threat has been cool. The Ashen, am I saying that right? Is it Ashen? I might be mixing that up with Detective Comics. But anyway, this new collective of gods is splitting up, trying to destroy cities. And their hidden city, their sort of space station, has a sentience of its own, kind of like Vision does. And so we've got Black Panther and Captain America Sam Wilson, who are on or in the hidden city is it the Hidden City? Is that what it's, I don't know. The Hidden City trying to like help the city thwart the plans and whatever. We got this cool like Avengers Assemble moment in issue 5 that at least tells me that issue 6 is going to be a nice conclusion to this story arc. But I don't know. It really just depends on the setup for issue 7 as to whether or not I'm going to stick with this series after issue 6. But cover price for Avengers issue 6 is $4.99, and the cover A is fine. But I keep forgetting that Mark Brooks is doing these corner box variants, and that one right there looks really cool. Although the Hulk is not on this team, so maybe I don't need to get this variant. But I like it, so hey, $4.99. Next up on the Marvel Comics pull list is Wolverine, issue number 38. So Wolverine has been basically is on a journey teaming up with a bunch of members of the Marvel universe. Is that how we want to say that? Last issue, we had him teaming up with Hulk, and that's a nice classic Wolverine and Hulk tale. And now we're going to team up with Captain America. And I think next issue is Black Panther. I don't know. I didn't read issue 37 just yet. And so who knows if it's great, but this is basically the bridge between this time period, like, and is it Sabretooth getting an event? Is it the Sabretooth War? I don't know, but I haven't seen Wolverine versus Sabretooth in like the entire Krakoa era. So I'm excited about that. And Ben Percy's great. So Ben Percy's Wolverine, issue number 38, has a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And before I get to the last book on the Marvel pull list, just got to complain a little bit about the fact that every book on my pull list this week is $5. And like, I get that it's only an extra $1 per book, but why is every book $5? Like, did we have a meeting and we just decided like, that's the price, that's the floor now? Cause it used to be that books were $3.99 and then Marvel would upcharge us for like a number 1 issue, and DC would charge $4.99 for a few different books, but only the ones that had backup stories. And again, every book on my pull list this week, except one, has a cover price of $4.99. So whatever. I don't know. It's not like anybody's going to do anything about it because I complained, but just had to call it out. Next book on the pull list is X-Men Red, issue number 16. So X-Men Red, I've been enjoying. I've been doing my X-Men read-throughs. I've not quite made it to the X-Force and Wolverine side of the world yet, but I did get caught up on Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red, two of my favorite X-Men titles. Immortal X-Men is dope. We'll talk about that next month when the new issue comes out. But X-Men Red is also really dope. So basically, we know that during the whole events of the, Ten of Swords, X of Swords, whatever, Arakko ended up getting brought to Krakoa, but Arakko just wanted to fight. And so then during the Hellfire Gala, they decided to terraform Mars and give Arakko its own planet to be its whole like war-built civilization. And they kind of appointed Storm as like the monarch of that world, Arakko. And, well, the old guard is back and does not like how Arakko's been managed. And so we're setting up for like this really nice showdown. And in this issue, the 4 Horsemen are showing up, which we haven't seen them since Ten of Swords and the Hellfire Gala either. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a pretty cool issue with a lot of action. I like X-Men Red, written by Al Ewing. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And so that's the last of my Marvel pull list. If I stick to the list, those books will cost me $20 this week. And let's go ahead and skip over to the indies, where there's only one indie book on the pull list this week. And of course, it's the only book that doesn't cost $5. This book is The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 73. And you guys know it's The Walking Dead in color with deluxe cardstock covers for just $3.99. This cover by David Finch I really like a whole lot. And like I said last week, this book is coming out like every week until issue 75. And the release of issue 75 will be the last new comic book day before Halloween. So maybe that's why it's such a push to get it out right now. Cause I don't know, they could have had 75 issues out by December. I don't know why there was a rush to get issue 75 out so soon, but it's coming out soon. But The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 73 has got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A, which brings my indie total to $4. And my grand total for the week is a respectable $39. That's before taxes and before my 10% subscriber discount, but that does not take into consideration that exclusive variant for Amazing Spider-Man 35 is probably going to be like $15. So still technically under budget, but not by a lot. Anyway, that's that. But let's talk about the books that are on the maybe list. These are some books that I saw coming out this week that I'm like, if I had some extra funds, I'd grab those, but I don't really need them. But you might be interested in books like this: Space Usagi Yokai Hunter issue #1, a brand new series from Dark Horse Comics in the Dogu imprint. That's Stan Sakai's whole publishing imprint over with Dark Horse, publishing a bunch of brand new Usagi Yojimbo stories. So Space Usagi, I've never quite heard of, but this is written and drawn by Stan Sakai as always. And I really enjoyed Stan Sakai's, it's right there. TMNT Usagi Yojimbo. I enjoyed that a lot. So Space Usagi would probably be pretty good as well. So if you're interested in that, it's got a cover price of $4.99. And I just showed you cover A. Next up, from Marvel, Superior Spider-Man Returns, #1. It's a one-shot coming out this week with a cover price of $6.99. It's written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage. And this is the return after 10 years of the Superior Spider-Man. Now, this is a one-shot, so you can grab this and grab nothing else if you want. But this is also setting up a brand new Superior Spider-Man series that is starting in November. I want to say November 15th, the first issue of that drops. So just know this will probably be a primer. And if you want to read that, you should probably read this. I would grab it because, listen, the art talent on this alone is a reason to grab this one shot. Humberto Ramos, Ryan Stegman, Mark Bagley, Giuseppe Camuncoli. That's reason enough to buy this book. But I've never read Superior Spider-Man. I've not read Dan Slott's run on Amazing Spider-Man. And I have a feeling this is a celebration of a bunch of stuff that won't mean much to me besides a cool character design and great art. And all that coupled with the fact that this book is $6.99 means I'm leaving it on the shelf, but I wanted you to see it just in case you're a fan. And the next book on the maybe list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Saturday Morning Adventures, Halloween Special, #1. It's a Halloween special one-shot for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in their sort of animated series form. So, it was a Halloween episode. If this would have came on TV, you'd probably watch it. And this just looks like the type of fun stuff, like the Ninja Turtles fighting ghosts and ghouls and stuff. That's just the type of thing that I would have watched on TV as a kid. So I'm shouting it out here because it looks cool. But again, this also has a cover price of $6.99. And comics are just too expensive right now. Why are they so expensive? Anyway, that was the maybe list. And hopefully you saw something that you were interested in this video, whether it's something that's on my pull list or not. Like I said, Batman and Robin's definitely got my full attention. And then I'm excited to see what the climax or the end to this story arc of Avengers is going to look like. Kind of excited about Spider-Man, but looking at that with a bunch of caution. The art is going to be beautiful though. What are you excited about? And let me know in the comments down below. Huge shout out to the channel family for making this video and every video on the channel possible. I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Peace.